Yeah, UFGT started as a thing in 1997, I believe, in Cincinnati, Ohio.
97. Man,
Yeah.
that's some time.
We were playing a lot of like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 at the arcade, and we had run into like a couple people who were not terrible at the game, me and my buddy Brian. And we were like, oh man, well, there's like 4 people who aren't terrible. Let's have a tournament and see who's the best. So I started organizing these little tournaments. I think the first one had like 8 people or something. They were all held out of my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, really, really small, the first 3. And then the 4th one was when we kind of went public with it. We went on SRK and we said, you know, why don't people from other places in Cincinnati come? And 32 people showed up to that, which in Cincinnati, or even back then for the day, this was 2001, I believe, was an incredible turnout.
Sweet.
Really, really incredible. Josh the Funk Doc was there, and a few other people
yeah.
who are still in the community today were there.
Dude,
Which is really, really cool. It was Josh the Funk Doc's first tournament, actually.
Wow.
We did 2 more of those. The last one was actually at Funk Doc's house in Cleveland, and I moved to Wisconsin right after that and found no scene there and decided to kind of hang it up and not do that anymore. And when I left Cincinnati, and I definitely, Fuji and Galleon picked up the torch there in Ohio and started doing seasons beatings and turned it into something just incredibly awesome and big, which I probably never would have been able to achieve on my own, especially back then. I just didn't have the right mindset for it. So fast forward a little bit, I get back into fighting games around 2007. A friend asked me to meet up with him at MWC 2007. And I show up, and he doesn't. So I'm all by myself.
That's always sucks.
I actually qualified for ST for EVO that year, and I was, I went to EVO for my first time, and I was hooked back on fighting games. Then in 2010, Jason Wilson didn't want to run MWC again.
Right.
And I had been there helping out each year beforehand, and I guess he trusted me enough that when I said, let me give it a shot, he said yes. So I ran MWC 2010 my own way. And I learned a lot doing it. You were there.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes. Now, just to stop you right there a second.
Sure.
Jason Wilson. Okay. A lot of people don't know who this guy is. So, I mean, because a lot of people came from like the 2008, 2009 resurgence of Street Fighter. Jason Wilson is pretty much the longest running TO in the United States, even before the Cannons. He's been running Midwest Championships all the way through, I believe, 1993, or even maybe earlier than that. But
yeah, long time.
Long time ago. And so what's significant, not just that he started the tournament scene so early, is that he got a hold of the most recognized players of our time. Watson, he got him out there. He got me and Choi. You know, he got like the best people from the East Coast to South. So he's been doing these things like back in the OG arcade eras, and he actually also helped out during the me and Daigo's first encounter. He was a tournament organizer at that the World Championships for Alpha 3. He was there. So working with this man, Keits, you know that this is a highly reputable person, and you are pretty much like the next in line.
You know, what always struck me about Jason Wilson that I didn't realize was special at first, but I do now, was that you would go to an MWC and he would be all business, you know? He's like, on time. If you're late, you're DQ'd. No exceptions for anybody. No bullshit.
Yeah, he had no mercy whatsoever. He would DQ you, no problem.
Yeah, the drill sergeant style.
No.
And
Old school.
it wasn't until I really started traveling the entire United States and going to everyone's tournament that I found out how special and rare that really was.
Right on. Okay,
so when I took over MWC 2010, I had to make sure that I kept with that and that I stayed true to form and was the total drill sergeant about it and made sure everything ran as on time as possible. And I got really close to MWC 2010 to running everything on time. It wasn't perfect. We had a lot of hiccups, but it was close.
You had over like 20 plus games, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Okay. Well, speaking to a little bit about like the logistics, people have heard about the UFGT tournaments now, but understanding this whole concept of drill sergeanting kind of, I guess, affected your style of running events, of the most on-time run events in the modern tournament, I guess, spectrum right now. I mean, we've witnessed it since, well, at least MWC, when you ran it, was the first time I've entered a tournament ran by you. And that was pretty freaking on time. But
yeah, it was really, really close. But, everybody was praising me after MWC 2010. They're like, oh, the room was too small, but it was really, really well run. But I had this feeling like, really? It was? I hated it. And I knew I could do better, so I went back to the drawing board immediately and thought about, reviving UFGT and making this tournament that's run so well that people have free time. And then I started thinking, man, if people have free time at a tournament, what do they do with it? So I started coming up with ways to occupy people's free time and really just blow it out as a party, the party the fighting game community deserves.
Right. And moving forward, the timing just got better and better for every tournament. Like, I remember Friday I had to play a pool, and I was done for the entire day after 2 hours. Really? That's unheard of in, like, okay, I'm thinking like 2010, 2011.
Right.
I'm in a tournament. I'm in a pool of 64, a pool of 128. You know, these, and I'm guilty of this too because I've ran Revelations that way. I tried it. I ran a pool in SCR 2010 of 32, which wasn't too bad, and 64. It wasn't too bad, but it still was time consuming.
Yeah.
Running the smaller pools, like seeing what you were doing, and I was like, this is way more manageable. With the setups. There's less clusterfucks going on. It's easier to put people like, hey, you're at 4 o'clock, you're at 2, you're 6 o'clock, you're at 8 o'clock, and people come and go as they please. So it was a big, at least from my experience in tournaments, it was a big surprise for me to finish a pool in 2 hours and not have to come back until whenever I want, because you're pretty stuck in there. And now today's tournaments are adopting that style, even EVO itself.
Yeah, it's really the only way to do things. There are some flaws to it. If you really look at it, Double Jeopardy kind of becomes the most noticeable flaw of the small pool system.
Yes.
In the top 4 of the pool, you're much more likely to have Double Jeopardy than in any other circumstance. But because brackets are essentially a pyramid, right, on their side, they choke the farther you get in. So first round, let's say you have this, big 64-man or 128-man bracket. You could run 8 or 10 or 12 matches at once if you had the stations.
Yeah.
You would just, blow through the first round. But as you get to the end, you're going to find, oh, man, I can only run 4 matches at once. Oh, now I can only run 2 at once because there's just nothing else that I can call.
Right.
And it chokes, and you end up with all these stations that can't be used, which is why the 2-station, 2-hour, 16-man pool works so well. You almost never have a station that's not being used throughout the entire venue.
Right. I will never go back to the old way.
Yeah, I won't either. There are merits doing 32-man pools that last 3 hours on 4 stations. It does cost you a little more time, but it is a lot safer. It's almost impossible to screw it up. So if you are new to running tournaments this way and you have the equipment, I would recommend starting with the 32-man 4 setup 3-hour pool instead. But if you do it the way that we do it with the 2-hour pools, I highly recommend taking some of the time you've saved and scheduling what we call an overflow block, and you'll see that on our schedule. The overflow block happens at the end of each day, usually for each game, and there's nothing in it. It's just empty. People can free play during the overflow block.
Yeah.
The reason it's there is to error correct. So if we get to the end of pool 1 and there's 3 matches left, we don't play them and delay pool 2. We cancel them and move them to overflow so pool 2 can start on time. Everything starts on time always. That's the rule. If you stick to that, your players will have to stick to that too.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, man. Like, we would think as tournament organizers, do we have enough setups? Do we have enough this? Do we have enough that? But we never really pay close attention to the bracketing system because it's like, okay, it's how hard is it to put people's name in there if you win? Okay, great. But everything like from people not showing up on time to people playing multiple games to the games lasting too long, affect how these brackets are made. They really are. They really are. So, and
maybe it's because I'm a fighting game player and I just really genuinely like to know how things work.
Yeah.
But before I ran my first tournaments way back in the day, I did a ton of reading about how tournaments work, what different types of options were available to me in brackets, what were the advantages and disadvantages of each, et cetera, et cetera. So I definitely did my research and learned to understand the math behind running a tournament, which has helped me a lot in generating a system that is very efficient and not wasteful.
Right. Well, I have to commend you for all the hard work, and
Thank you, sir.
I definitely learned a lot for the way that you've run tournaments on time and what systems you use, and I obviously adopted to my events. But okay, so we know what UFGT is. We know how immaculate you like to make the scheduling is. Let's get on to UFGT9 Guts. So what is this about? What's Guts? I mean, I've seen you have names for each and every other UFGT. So what's Guts?
I like theming my events. I like having a theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more fun to plan the event when you get to like, I don't know. It's like having a party, right?
Right.
What's the theme of your high school dance or whatever? Under the sea.
Under the sea.
Know?
Enchantment of the sea.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same
you.
kind of thing.
I got you.
So when we brought UFGT back, and I decided to kind of bring my style back, we called it Resurrection, which was pretty obvious. And then for UFGT 8, we did Infinity because an 8 on its side is, Infinity, and that's pretty awesome, I guess.
Yeah, the Infinity gloves, man. That was sick.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah, we did Infinity Gauntlets for that, for trophies, which was really, really cool. This year, the theme is Guts, which is a nod to the old Nickelodeon show, climbing the aggro crag and all that stuff. And I think it's indicative of what a player needs to have in order to be successful today as well. You can't just have talent and motivation. You also have to have a lot of fortitude to be able to come to a tournament and stand up to other people who are just as tough as you consistently and not choke, right? We've seen some of the best players in the world choke consistently over the years. I'm not going to name anybody, but
hey,
you just have to have it. You have to have it inside.
I've been there. I've been there. We all been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've all been there. All the greats have choked. Even Daigo himself. We all choked. So, but yeah, Guts.
Some of us like me choke every time.
No, you just did not say that. Okay, so it's a themed event now. Jabele didn't have anything to do with this because he lives in Orlando. He is Mr. Nickelodeon.
Jabele's a filthy leaker. You should never trust him with anything, and he has nothing to do with this event.
Okay. I'm just putting you on blast a little bit. All right. So, so Guts. So as we saw from the trailer that if you see Nickelodeon has these little obstacle courses, things that you guys go through, little games and stuff, and that's one of the most innovative things that you have in your events because besides playing these, I think I lost your. Oh, there we go. Besides playing the tournaments, you have a lot of other activities that are going on inside. So I want you to talk a little bit about what's going on with UFGT9's activities.
So generally, tournaments to me feel very exclusive. Yes, we run open tournaments and anyone can enter, but all the special stuff, like Top 8 Sunday, and any of the special events that they tend to run are very exclusive. You need to be a top player, somebody known really well already to even participate, Oh, it's East versus West Coast again. And it's the 5 top players from each region again. And I wanted to do something that was on the other end of the spectrum because nobody else was really trying anything that was super inclusive. So all of our special events are what we call character auctions, which is something that anyone can participate in. Anyone with an event badge can bid on their favorite character and enter this really unique single elimination tournament where you have to buy your character to get in. And you have to bid against other players who either want your character or want you to pay more for your character.
Speaking of character auction, what was the Blanca? Was it like a...
there was a $42
$42
Blanca.
Blanca.
But at UFGT 8, Jabele bid like $82 for Balrog.
$82 Balrog. Oh, my God. That's right.
I think he made 60 of it back or something.
Yeah. So if you guys, again, like what Adam's saying is right. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of tournaments are doing that are pretty much like the same across the board, and some kind of mix it up.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I like
it's
what
absolutely
other tournaments are doing. I just
not.
wanted to do something different.
Absolutely not. And you have the character auctions, and you've expanded it to Marvel. But it gets crazy in Marvel though, right? Is it coming back to Marvel this time or?
Yeah, we only had time for 2 of them this year. We're
Okay.
doing UMVC 3 again.
Okay.
In the Marvel 3 auction, you're bidding on an entire team of characters with assists assigned. So it gets really interesting. And we're also doing the exact same thing this year for Marvel 2. We're going to do a throwback auction.
Oh, Marvel 2.
Really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, Marvel 2.
All right. Sweet.
So moving on to the Fun and Games Corner,
Yes.
which is our carnival game stuff. I'm sure you guys have all seen Super Balrog Ball and maybe seen Combat 21, which are some pretty mean ways to play your friends. The cool thing about the carnival room, the Fun and Games room, is that even though they are kind of carnival games, you're not playing against the house. You're always playing against another player. So one of you always wins. It's in the competitive spirit of a fighting game tournament. You're trying to take the raffle tickets and the prize points away from the other dude.
Yes.
That's all you're trying to do. New this year, which is really amazing. Shout outs to my dad for making this so amazing every year. He built a full 9-hole tabletop mini golf course that is played by rolling quarters down a ramp. It's fucking incredible.
What?
It's so cool.
You play with you just put a quarter in the course.
Yeah, there's like this little ramp. It's like it looks like a golf club, and you drop the quarters down it, and you can like put spin on it and curve, and the quarter rolls on its edge, and you're trying to roll it into the hole. And there's just a full 9-hole course, and the tables are like 2x2. It's got each one's themed in a different way. It's really, really cool.
All right, this has got. I mean, I don't know if we should be leaking any information out, but I think everybody should see this thing. Is it going to be streamed?
We could probably get some cameras in there and take some shots to put on the stream.
Yeah, we don't even know that yet. We haven't even discussed that yet, but I'm already interested. I mean,
it takes up a lot of space. We couldn't do it last year because we didn't have the space. We had talked about it, but this year we're in a huge 16K square foot venue. We got tons of room.
Yo, okay, because I remember when we were streaming Ballwork Ball, and not even that, not just Ballwork Ball, but like Hungry Hippos.
Yeah, I remember that.
People want to see all we have the fighting games and they're played all day long. But then when you're not playing these games, what are you doing? You're winning these combat zone raffle tickets by beating the other person, and you're
goofing off.
You're goofing off. You're playing like dive kick. Every time I stopped playing game, I went to dive kick to try to beat the other guy to get like 3 tickets or 2 tickets for whatever win streak. I forgot what it was, but that's how you learn the game. You just the more you play, the more chances you get for winning prizes. I mean, that's just by trying out the game. So
yeah, and we always give away a ton of stuff. There's not just the raffle. There's also the prize points, which are themed as doubloons this year.
Sure.
We have like some $2,000 worth in crap in the prize shop. There's some really awesome stuff in there. My dad's pretty pumped about it. I saw that stuff. I'm pretty pumped about it. You guys will definitely be taking home swag if you want it.
Sweet. So this golf course thing, you just as many quarters as you have, you can just keep going?
No, you would pay $1 to play, just like the other fun and games things, but you take your group of 4 or 5 players and your 1 quarter, and you go hole to hole, just like a mini golf course, and keep your score, just like mini golf. And at the end, whoever's got the best score is going to get the prize points and the tickets and stuff.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that.
It's cool because like there's 9 tables, so there can be 9 groups playing at once as long as you guys kind of move down the line. And a lot of our fun and game stuff is really fast. It's over in about 5 minutes. But if you have a larger chunk of time free, you could play this for a half hour on your $1 and really just have a great time.
I think there's going to be a lot of side raffling.
Yes, I'm sure there will be.
There'll be a lot of side raffling for that game.
There always is.
Yeah. So, okay. Is there any other fun and game stuff that you can reveal for us, or that's the main... The golf.
That's the main big new thing this year. If you guys haven't experienced it, you got to come out and you got to hop in the fun and games area and try some of that stuff. It is just too fun.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Now, man, we even jumped past the games. What games? what games are you gonna have this year at UFGT9?
We are playing Super Street Fighter 4, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Dive Kick. Dive Kick will be a pre-release build. It'll have more characters than the last time you saw it. We're playing Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Mortal Kombat 9, Soul Calibur 5, Injustice, Persona, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, King of Fighters 13, Skullgirls, Vampire Savior, the Mystery Game Tournament, and Barabari Ball pre-release beta tournament.
14 games. Dang.
Yeah, whoops.
14 games. Now, what system will these games be on?
They're on a variety of systems. If you check our games page, you can see. I try to go with what the community wants.
Oh, okay, sweet. So Capcom games,
yeah, I mean, like
Xbox?
Tekken's on PS3, but Marvel's on Xbox, that kind of stuff. So go to UFGT.us and click games if you want to see what systems everything is on. Mystery Game Tournament, if you guys haven't heard about it or seen replays of it.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, you want to wait?
After naming all the games, that is the most hypest game or event throughout the entire tournament. The Mystery Game Tournament. Okay, when you watch players especially Flo, play this game, you see the real emotions come out. You think you see the emotions come out during when he was playing the little like Meat Boy and stuff like that, whatever the little.
Yeah.
Okay, watch him play this game. Watch Justin play these games, or watch anybody that plays. They're just naturally talented in playing multiple genres of fighting games. Watch them play this stuff, and you can see how painful it is to lose to somebody that you think like, oh, I can beat this guy, and then all of a sudden he bodies you with like clay fighters.
Yeah. You know what the flow strategy is, right?
I know what the flow strategy is. Yes,
Should we blow it up?
it's a really good strategy.
I'm blowing it up.
Yeah, go blow it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So this is the flow strategy for Mystery Game Tournament. If you beat Flo in the first round of the 2 out of 3 set in whatever game you have to play him in, he's going to mirror match you next round. And he's going to do whatever you did to him, but he's going to try and do it better. And he'll probably be able to because he's Flo.
Yeah.
That's the flow strategy.
Yeah, that's the flow strategy. But what about the Branton strategy?
The Brandon strategy
The Branton
didn't work 2 years in a row.
Yo, Branton's still pretty freaking good, and
He is really good, but his strategy is sleep in and get DQ'd into
Oh,
losers,
God.
wear sunglasses inside.
or Josh.
Funk Doc
Doc.
is a serious threat.
That's what I'm saying.
Funk Doc is a very serious mystery game threat. There are a couple guys in the United States who have consistently placed very high in our mystery game tournaments. Funk Doc, Flo, Nerd Josh, Chauncey, and a few other people. These guys have been unreasonably consistent. You should not be able to be this consistent in something that is so incredibly random.
Yeah, no,
But it's not just intuition and basics and skills that these guys have. These guys have a lot of poverty knowledge. They've played a lot of crap games over the years, and a lot of times they pull out something that we think is bottom of the barrel, rare, nobody's ever seen it before, and they're like, "Yeah, I've played
You
this."
said poverty challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey man, I do okay in the mystery game tournament because I've played some of those games, but
yeah.
these guys still play like it's yesterday, man.
I know. Right? It comes back to them really fast.
Yeah,
Funk Doc
yeah,
on Street Fighter 1 was
yeah.
awe-inspiring.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He got all his moves every time, and
Every time.
every time, and you know that it's random when the moves come out like that.
Well,
like-
apparently not.
Well, no, yeah, yeah. So, all right, mystery game tournament is pretty much. Of course, you're not going to reveal the lineup. That's why it's
No.
called mystery game tournament. It's just anything that
Yeah,
you
it's
would
a different
like to.
game every round.
Yeah.
So if you beat your first opponent, like if you got to fight Valle and you got to play him in some stupid car game, if you
Oh
beat him
my
next
God.
round, you're gonna have to play a different opponent and
Yeah.
a different game.
Yeah,
So
that's
adaptation.
that's nutty. Oh, will there be any game show stuff going on?
We are going to do a pre-game show, but it's not going to be a game show this year. I'm pretty swamped, and I have not had time to plan anything as awesome as you guys deserve. I do have something I want to do. It's just not coming together in time.
Okay.
And rather than do something subpar, I'm just
Right.
going to kind of cancel that. We are still going to do a pre-game show, though, and I do have something that's actually really, really cool and special lined up. So please stay tuned for an announcement about that.
Sweet. That's sick. So, all right, we talked about the games. We talked about the extra stuff that goes around. And most importantly, too, besides all those wonderful things that we talked about, the venue.
Yes.
You got a venue change. Please tell us
Yes.
about the venue change and how much closer it is to civilization. Let's go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this might actually be the first major fighting game tournament actually in Chicago.
You're right. Oh, of this scale.
Yeah, I mean, previously we've been in Northbrook, Illinois, either at Nickel City or at some nearby hotel. For the last 3 years, I was at the Crown Plaza in Northbrook. And that was a great place for me to start. Like, I had no experience with hotels or booking venues, and they were really great to me and great to our group. I think we can all agree that we were treated very well there. We outgrew it, unfortunately, or I would have stayed forever because they do treat me so well. And because we were able to get so far at the hotel we were at and grow each year, city hotels were starting to call and give us offers, which is great. So we're actually moving to the Crown Plaza, Chicago O'Hare, which is technically Rosemont, but it's right by the airport, and you're a stone's throw away from Chicago proper. If you hop on the Blue Line train, which is a 10-minute walk from the venue, which is right across from the convention center, you can be in downtown Chicago. So you can actually come a day early or stay a day late, or on your downtime during the tournament, go and enjoy the city, which is incredible.
Yeah, man.
And if you fly into O'Hare, getting to the airport's never been easier, or getting from the airport to the venue has never been easier.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like let people know. out of my 15 years of traveling to the Midwest, especially to like Jason Wilson's old school Midwest championships, it would, you know, we'd have to bum a ride or get a taxi cab and drive.
And it was only 9 miles away, but still,
dude,
9 miles in Chicago is like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it took forever and a day. And then once we're there, we're stuck unless like we have a buddy that lives nearby that can take us somewhere. But
not anymore.
Yeah, now you're welcome to, like, say if you bring a girlfriend down and she wants to do her thing, she can go out and explore the city, or you guys can set some time together and go visit the stuff. Because, man, I got really disappointed. I tried to go downtown one time, and we got lost trying to find Wrigley Field. I was pissed off, man. I was like, where the hell is this place? I had some fried Twinkies, but that was my first experience over there way back in the days, man. And but now I'm really happy that, well, at least for stream producers, we don't have to lug our stuff that far.
Oh, it's going to be so easy.
It's right there, and yeah. And then I like to indulge myself in the city nightlife, wherever tournament I go to. So that's going to be really cool for me. And besides eating the awesome pizza that they got. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure the train runs 24 hours too. So
say what?
If you want to go explore the city at night,
oh yeah, I'm in there.
You will not be stranded.
Oh, dude, Uncle Vi is in there, dude. I love the nightlife. I love the nightlife. Cool. So is there? It's the end of May, Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend, May 24th to 26th. The pregame show is on the night of the 23rd. You do not want to miss it.
No.
It is going to be ridiculously cool.
Sweet. Is there anything else that you can reveal with us now, or let us sit on it a little bit?
Let me think. If there's anything special I can reveal. Probably not at this time.
Okay.
But when I do have something, I will let you know, and maybe I'll come back on the show.
Okay, yeah, definitely, man. We're, this month is UFGT month, and I'm really excited for the next Evo Qual. I know every Evo Qual so far has been really successful. So, like, I mean, I don't, I don't see this one being that far from behind from any of them. I think
registration is up over last year by a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of a scary amount, actually.
Yeah, it's
but we'll make it work.
Right, sweet. Well, hey, Adam, thank you so much for telling us what's good with UFGT9. I'm really looking forward for the extra news that are going to come out. Hopefully come back on the show to talk a little bit about it. And, of course, if you guys want to follow Adam, as you see on the screen, at Keits SRK. And, of course, check out the Wake Up SRK show whenever he has time, because I know he's still working on Dive Kick. He's a man.
Speaking of that, are you going to be playing in the Dive Kick tournament?
Sign me up, dude.
Awesome. It has the third most entries, FYI.
It does?
Yeah.
Put me in
it's
there.
going to be huge.
Put me in there, man. Put me in
and
there.
There's a 1K pop bonus from Iron Galaxy in there, too.
Oh, 1,000. Thank you, man. All right, Adam, we're going to start the show. Thank you so much for being on. I'll catch you next time.
Take it easy.
All right, man. All right, guys. We'll be right back.